Hello there, we are testing. I learned something new today or yesterday. I can use my iPhone as a camera and use my microphone as a microphone. So we have better audio quality, hopefully, and better picture quality, way better than my webcam. So far I've only used my iPhone for filming, so now I still do, and we get the better audio with it too. Excuse the view, once again, I'm moving next February. So in the beginning of February, I'm moving to a new flat, a new office, and then this very dire, white, and kind of boring prison-like view will be gone forever, hopefully, if I can pull it off. It would look much nicer if your camera was there, but I hate filming into the room like this when the background is just stuff. But that's not what we're here for. Not moving, not the new microphone, which is my old microphone, but in black now. And I got all the equipment. I cannot touch this without you hearing it. It's fantastic. I like it. My old Yeti made some problems. If you're interested, I can make a video about it. But we are here to talk about Pokemon Purpur or Violet in English. And my opinion on it after around, I think it's like 52 hours or something, is what my trainer card says. Here, let me pull that up. And my opinions on it are quite mixed, I must say. It's easily one of the best Pokemon games ever, but especially after Legends Arceus when it came out in January of this year, they're definitely burning us out on Pokemon here. It's I would say big step down. So here we have it. It's 56 hours and 16 minutes right here. I have quite a few problems with it, and I know a lot of the internet has problems with it. My first impressions of the game were not good, like at all. If you follow me on Twitter, I tried to post cool stuff about the game when I started playing, but the game just threw glitches and stupid decisions at me left and right. And I kind of documented all of that on my Twitter account if you want to check that out. I'll link it down in the description if you want to check out my Twitter, as long as Twitter is still up and Musk hasn't ruined it yet. So the game is very glitchy. The performance is terrible. The graphics in some parts are, oh boy, it's like, okay, we have this big of a mountain and we have a texture that's this big. So let's just repeat it 10 million thousand times until the entire mountain is covered. It's terrible. I think stylistically, I like the new models. I didn't think I would like the new character models of the main characters and the other characters as well, because they're such a departure from the traditional Pokemon style. But I really like them. I think their expressions, they're very cute. Like I like this step into the next direction of a more detailed character model. But the environments need to catch up to that too. Man, the trees, the grass, the everything is the textures especially. Oh man, uh, it's not pretty to look at. I like that it's colorful. Legends Arceus had by design, because they went with this like Okami style graphics that didn't quite work out. It was quite muddy and gray and brown, and I understand what they were trying to do, but it didn't work out in the end. And it's a step up from that. It's nice and colorful. I wouldn't say sharp, but it's um, a lot more detailed here and there. However, yeah, like I said, when it comes to texturing mountains and things like that, man, they're still stuck in 2003, I think. Like, this looks like a PlayStation 2 game when you just look at it. Of course, like the open world, all of the whole way the game works isn't really achievable on a PlayStation 2. But man, when you look at some aspects of the game, you could fool me. It's really not good. But yeah, all of that, most of my problems vanished after the first gameplay hour. Because then the game started or stopped trying to be cinematic. When this game plays cinemas and this game tries to do cutscenes, it fails every millisecond it tries to do that. At least in the first hour of the game. The ending is another story I will talk about later. Spoiler free, so don't worry about that. By the way, no spoilers here. I'll just talk about the gameplay in general and what I liked and disliked about it. The first hour, the tutorial hour, the first cutscenes, especially the school, like it reached a high point or low point, as you could say, in the school, where even directly in front of the camera, the characters were moving like this. They're doing the robot every second. So it was terrible. It's directly in front of the camera. I can understand, right, when you zoom out a little bit or you go into the distance, people on the street doing the robot, that's okay. I don't understand why it has to be so bad, but I understand that. But when it's directly in front of the camera, my balls, man, it's not good. And they need to fix that. They can't keep doing that, man. The state they released BDSP last year is unacceptable. The state they released this in is unacceptable. And I tried to cut them some slack because they didn't do BDSP. The Game Freak didn't. And Arceus launched in a fine state. I didn't have problems with that. This one, like, I'll be double checking if I want to get the next Pokemon game on day one, man. It's not promising on the technical aspect. Everything else about the game. Now, let's get into the positive. Let's take a sip of tea. Getting energized. And doing the caffeine. Yeah, drug addict right here. Everything else is good to great. Like walking around in the open world, let me just here move around, man. Here, let me show you. Let's move around, baby. It's great. And it feels good to play. If the performance wasn't so stuttery and the animations weren't so clunky, it would feel so good to play. You know how else it should have played? It should have played like Legends Arceus. Because that game was great. That game took the game concept of Pokemon a step further. Like the styles, right? Okay, not having the rigid turn-based system. Being able to throw balls outside of battles and making it worthwhile to still engage in battle. Having battles against multiple Pokemon at once and wild Pokemon nearby joining the battle, and you have to deal with all of them. So you have to pay attention to your environment and how it interacts with the game and your gameplay. It's not in this game. It's all gone. They took it all out. All the things that Arceus did to push the gameplay into a new direction and to improve it is gone. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's terrible. It doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's just the old Pokemon. If you like the good old Pokemon, this is the game for you. For me personally, I still enjoy it. Like, I'm having fun. But after finishing a Pokemon game, I don't feel like I accomplished anything. I complete the Pokedex. Okay, I just ran around catching and leveling up Pokemon. Like, doesn't feel like I accomplished anything, really. And for me, the old school Pokemon gameplay is starting to show its cracks, and it needs to go into a different direction. It needs to give me something to do that isn't catching Pokemon, that isn't going from one gym to another. Like, I need something more. And if the ending of this game is anything to go by, I like the direction it's going. It's trying to do a lot more story twists and interesting things in the Pokemon world, but this is just like it shows what it can do in the last maybe 5 hours of the game. And everything before that and everything in the post game is just your standard Pokemon. And the foundation it's showing is showing its cracks, if you ask me. So it's the same old Pokemon. That's positive or negative, depending on who you're asking. It's still fun. I'm having fun. I think the state the game launched in, once you leave the cutscene heavy first hour, completely fine. Even the ending, when it gets more cutscene heavy, fine. I don't know how they could accept that first hour of the game. First impressions matter. And they totally botched that. With me, at least. And I can understand people not wanting to play the game right afterwards. I can't say I would disagree with their opinion. But it gets better. But it just becomes Pokemon. Just another Pokemon. They're playing it safe. I don't know if I like that. I want the next step, and I saw their willingness to go the next step in Legends Arceus, and they took a gigantic step back with this one, if you ask me. Some other things are better, of course. You can breed now. You can do your standard Pokemon stuff. So all the features that were cut from Arceus are back in this one. Breeding is another story. Like, you have to do it in the camp now, and I think it's not quite as good. You have to constantly switch out team members, all of that. It's very annoying. And because the menus take an eternity to load, and everything takes an eternity to load, and everything is coupled with 50 trillion minute long animations. Like, why can't my main character eat a sandwich without going, ooh, ah! Every time. Like, every time. I don't understand it. Why is that the case? Like, when there's a menu I need to get in and out of constantly, sandwiches this time, unlike the curry disaster of Sword and Shield, actually do something for the game. Like, they give you buffs, they affect what Pokemon spawn, how many eggs you can get, what type of Pokemon is easier to catch, all of that. It's fantastic. I like the sandwich system, but I dread going into the sandwich menu because every time you put stuff on the sandwich, you have to move the mouse cursor there and put it there and there and put it there and there and pull it there. It takes 10 million hours. And after that, your character does the whoa thing. I dread having to make a sandwich here. And which is sad because it's such a cool point of the game. Cut the animations, Game Freak, please. Cutting animations, speaking of that, you can no longer turn off animations. I'm a person, I play through the story and that's it. Like, I don't do competitive battles or EV training or IV training, which is super easy in this game. I did it for one Pokemon for raids and I'm happy with that. But it's still... I like to turn on the animations for my playthrough. Because so many people said, oh, the animation looks horrible in Sword and Shield. They didn't improve at all. And then they turn off the animation. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Of course, it's not good then. It's, that baffles me sometimes. Like, the decisions of Pokemon fans. I'm one of them. And I'm complaining about a game I bought at day one that I had fun with. But the problem with Pokemon is no longer that it's a good game and it's a fun game. Of course it is, it's Pokemon. It's hard to ruin that. But it's stagnating. It has stagnated, like Gen 6, 7, and 8 were the same game, just a little bit polished up every time. Now they took a different step to the open world, but it's still the same game. Just because you repackage it doesn't change the fundamental gameplay of Pokemon. And I want a fundamental change here. Or maybe I want a spin-off series. I don't know. Like, I don't know, like Digimon, they have the Digimon World and the Stories game. Maybe I want a Pokemon Stories game here. Or the Monster Hunter Stories game. I don't know. But, I mean, the core gameplay of Pokemon, it's no longer fulfilling me the way I want it. I need something else. I need a story. Give me some side quests, like interesting side quests, not catch 5 teacup Pokemon. What is it to get the evolution thing for the Mega Man guy? Like get the Sinistea shards, catch 10 of them. And that's the only quest in the game, basically. And it's a fetch quest. It's, oh god, no. it's... I need some quests. I need something to do. The cities are all empty and dead. They are all uninteresting. There's nothing there. They're always the same stores doing the same things. They all look the same. It's not good in that aspect. And I'm sorry. It's the truth here. Like, when there are cities everywhere, you can't just have a city to house a gym and a few stores that are all the same. Like the gym, I go in, I go out, they're no longer hard. I can like steamroll them with anything I have in my party. So having the cities just being a little hub for stores and the gym is nothing. Like, why even have them in the game? Legends Arceus did it well in that aspect, in that you have your main hub city and you go to the different places, but the hub city actually has small things that are interesting in them. So yeah, cities were a big disappointment in this one. Anything else to talk about? You basically get my impression. I'm having fun, but I wish I had more fun. Basically, I wish I had fun in a good way, not in a I've done this for the last 20 years way that, okay, I guess that's fun to me. That's one thing. I think that's my opinion on the new Pokemon games. Like, this video turned out a lot more negative than I anticipated. Overall, like, I don't hate the game. I like it more than Sword and Shield, and I like that game too. But when it comes to Pokemon, I don't want to like the game. I want to love it. I want to have fun. I want to have cool things like the ending of Legends Arceus, where you had actually hard battles. Oh, that's one thing. The Team Star camps. They are hard. Some of them I had to build my team around, because I found out I did them in a different order than I should have. And the last one was actually quite challenging for me. The fighting camp. They have this nice boss monster with the truck and all of that. That's my favorite part of the game. But like the rest is really not worth mentioning. Even the final battles, like, okay, when you do the Team Star ones, of course, there's a little finishing story with more battles. These battles were laughable. Like, actually laughable. Compared to the camps themselves. So yeah, great start, not quite thought through to the end. Yeah, basically that's it. Like they didn't think it all the way through. They just thought, yeah, it's good enough, and that's what this game is. Good enough. If you're happy with that, that's okay. I personally am content with it. When I buy a game by a big publisher, like, I don't know if being content is enough.